It's Christmas afternoon and I'm home alone. It's a real treat to have the house to myself. We've had a real full week of festivities and family events. I have been unwell, as you can probably hear from my voice. I think I've had this on and off sickness. It's like week on, week off of like a sore throat and congestion and just fatigue. Every weekend's been jam-packed full of parties and social events. Last week we had our little window Christmas party. It was really, really fun. It was a 10-12 hour party, so that was when I started to get really run down. And then we've been having family stay with us for the last few days as well, and a couple of days ago we also hosted Trent's family for an early Christmas. That's when my sickness peaked. I made the decision at that time to not go down to Byron Bay this morning with everyone else. I felt like I just really needed some alone time to recharge and get some rest and try and recover and get better before going on holidays. Sometimes we're expected to be a part of and be involved in everything around Christmas time. It's not the easy path to ask for time alone during the holidays. I saw a funny meme the other day about how Christmas is kind of like a part-time job for 4 to 6 weeks leading up to Christmas, with the shopping that you have to do, the preparation of getting decorations out and all the events that you attend, and then, you know, the cooking, the cleaning, the hosting. There's a lot to mentally get your head around this time of year. I did presents this morning with Trent and Ari, and then they left, and having this quiet space home alone is very blissful. It's like heaven for my introverted, highly sensitive brain. It's the peace of not having to relate to anyone and not having to externalize any of my thoughts. I'm just in my own quiet mind, going at my own pace. What's amazing is if I clean or tidy something, then I come back to it a few hours and it's left in the exact same state as how I left it. So the mental load of cleaning and picking up after others in the house and thinking ahead of what needs to be done for nap time, meal time, bedtime is completely offloaded, and for the first time in ages, I can just sort of hone in and connect back into myself. I really need that alone time. If I don't have regular periods of time by myself, I start to feel unwell physically and mentally, and it's just like water for me. So being alone is really nourishing. So I've got tonight, tomorrow and tomorrow night all to myself, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smoke is in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby. You got my
I had 11 hours sleep straight last night, which was amazing. And this is the first morning I've woken up without a sore throat and a headache. I feel a lot more mentally clear and like I can function, like I've got a sense of positivity again. I was just feeling really weary and just not looking forward to anything, which was a real sign of burnout for me. I'm going to now take down the Christmas tree and our Christmas decorations so that when we get back in January, everything's all, cleared and reset. Those birds are really loud today. Just enough for like 2 small bowls or 1 big bowl, and then like there might be some left over. But if there's some left over, I would just put it in a pot and cook some ramen with it and add some extra water. Garnish, sauce, noodles. Oh, yum! And some of the meat. There's more meat in there, but I'm going to put this in the fridge for you before it goes bad. And then some lime. The fridge is probably really messy. It's not. So there's that raw meat as well, okay, huh? Oh, the raw meat. Yeah, so you cook the noodles and then the noodles need to be hot in a bowl already. Yeah. And then you lay out the raw beef on top in a thin layer. And then you have the soup cooking on the stove really hot. Yeah. And then you ladle it into the bowl and then it cooks the meat. Okay. And then you just add the garnish and sauce. And that's it. What's your Christmas been like? Well, so I try to be mindful and space things out and not overbook myself, which has kind of worked. But at the same time, like I haven't really had much alone time, and I think that's the key. So you need to have also your own time. Most people say that Christmas time is for family and friends and to catch up with everybody, which it can be, and you can have moments and days with that. But I think it's also important to schedule in some alone time so that you can actually have a break, because hosting and organising presents and just cleaning constantly, usually after work for Tan and I, we just are so exhausted. And then if we go into all the socials for weeks and we go back to work, then we just end up feeling really deflated and depleted. It's relational exhaustion. When you have to gear yourself up to then socialise with family, it's like another wave of relational output, which is really exhausting if you're an introvert. You can have fun and enjoy family events, and that feeling can coexist with feelings of feeling really depleted, feeling angry, feeling irritable, agitated. So it can feel confusing because you might think, I really want to see these people and I do enjoy it, but there's also this other part of you that has spent all this time organising and cleaning and also parenting. So that the parenting side of things doesn't stop behind the scenes when you're hosting. A lot of people end up having arguments with their partners, or you don't have anything left for your own smaller family after all the events because you're just so depleted. Yeah. And then before you know it, you're back at work and the time's gone. Yeah, and you start January feeling like the last year just run into the next year if you don't have a proper break. In conclusion, schedule time in alone, even a day or two if you can. If you have children, a few hours in the day. Another thing about hosting and being extroverted or introverted, if you're more extroverted, you might be okay with having quite open doors. So there might be a few extra invites that come along and you could be flexible with that and it could feel okay. But someone who's introverted would need a lot of warning beforehand if someone was just like another person that was just invited to their house without them knowing beforehand. So if you are introverted, then it's important to communicate that to your loved ones and let them know to give you a lot of notice so that you can mentally and energetically prepare for that.
Yeah.
Before you start therapy, you don't always understand what's happening in family dynamics. So there's a lot of unconscious stuff that plays out, and things have always just been the way they've been your whole life. You start to do your own therapy work and you start to realise what some of those dynamics are. It can really change the way you're affected when you're around particular family members. So before, you kind of just feel like things are normal.
Well, you trust the adults around you, so you just do whatever everyone does.
Yeah, and then when you become aware of particular things that are playing out, and when you've named it verbally with another person, so in therapy, for example, you start to feel really different around particular family members. So you can start to feel more agitated, resentful, or like you just can't be around that person anymore. And that can really change the way family holidays or festivities, Christmas time can feel for you, because you suddenly feel like you've got to protect yourself in a different way. And you know what your limits are, and you know what you don't want to do. Whereas when you're younger,
You seem more easygoing as well because of that.
Yeah. And then I think if you're the person who's done a lot of therapy work and work on yourself, and you've learned the skills to articulate and name what you need and what you want, sometimes you can be painted out to be the villain, the negative one.
So sensitive.
Yeah, overly sensitive. Why are you like that? Why are you so stressed?
You're ruining Christmas for everyone.
Yeah, when really you're just becoming more expressive about what you need to keep your sanity in place and not burn out.
There's also another whole aspect of the mental load
Yes.
for women in relationships as well, but that's a whole other conversation. Cut.
As an introvert, it works for me to have in time and then out time. Having 2 days at home alone to recharge supported me to be in a group environment on holidays for the next 6 days. We stayed in a farmhouse about half an hour from Brunswick Heads. It was open spaces, good company, and a perfect way to reset for the new year.
Capsicum and lots of red tomatoes and I think 2 chilies
Wow.
and lots of basil.